Greetings. Damn, 18 people. Must be a busy Tuesday night. Hello, Farah. We are making cookie dough. We are not baking cookies. I'm just setting expectations so that nobody hits me with comments that are like, she led me on for 3,000 hours in this low quality potato spud live, and she did not even show me how the cookies turned out. Yes, indeed, we are not baking the cookies tonight. I am only making cookie dough, and I'm using this opportunity to check in with everyone, let people know that I'm alive. Let you all know that there's a new video that I just edited that dropped that's only 13 minutes long. You're welcome for the short content people lovers out there. And just popping my head back in to let you know that I'm not done doing live streams. I've just been very preoccupied in life. Hi, Hong Kong. Really nice to see y'all from all over the world. And I purposely did not charge my phone, so we are operating off of 60% battery, which means when the battery runs out, I run out. So if I just drop off suddenly, now you know why. Usually on a full battery, I can go for 2 hours. So on a 60% battery, we can go for an hour and 15, maybe. Hi, Chicago. And I jotted down my healthy oatmeal cookie recipe that I developed for Delish. It was probably my second recipe ever that I developed, or even my third, maybe. That recipe, if you Google it, uses applesauce, which I don't have. So I'm going to be substituting in extra butter to make it less salty, and also add in sweetened condensed milk, which I have open already. So we're just going to fumble with the recipe, and I'll bake it tomorrow. Maybe I'll go live, maybe I won't. Either way, I'll snap a photo and I'll show you guys how it turned out. But in the name of experimentation, let's not just follow a recipe that we know works. Let's do something wild and learn from the results. And yes, it's been a while because I've been going through it in life. And I know I'm a very dramatic person and I'm always going through something in life, but mental health wise has been really fucking rough. So I'm back to tell you that I'm okay. I just need some time to heal myself. I said this in college, and I still very much believe it to be my one wish in life. My follow-up wish to this wish would be to have someone develop technology that could film my dreams and play it back to me like a movie. I would invest like half of my life savings in there, which isn't much, but I would still invest half my life savings. Hi, Melissa. Damn, girl. Fingers crossed for your transplant waiting. My first wish that I knew I wanted in college, which will never happen because it's not going to happen because Elon is too busy flying into space instead of developing this technology, but a truth serum. Like if for my birthday and or Christmas, people wanted to give me a gift, I would be like, yo, take this truth serum. It's going to knock you out for 20 minutes, but I get to ask you all the questions that I want for those 20 minutes, and you would be able to tell me everything truthfully. That would get me off so hard. That would be like the best present in the world, is if I could administer truth serums to people and ask them everything I've ever wanted to know. They would probably mostly be egotistical questions concerning their feelings about me, because my number one insecurity in life is not knowing how people feel about me truthfully, because they be lying sometimes. You just don't know with people. They're fucked people. What in the Divergent series? I would totally be down to be administered truth serum as well, if that's what they wanted for their Christmas and or birthday gift. I cannot speak Cantonese. I'm so sorry. The only phrase that I know that my Mandarin speaking mom and I used to laugh at is "nji nji," because it sounds like, in Mandarin it's very close to like "gongji muji." So I don't know if I said that right, but you tell me. Hi, Hawaii. All right, let's get started on this cookie dough, shall we? Hi, Thea. I'm so glad that you like the Budget Eats episodes. And I'm so sorry we won't be making any more of those. R.I.P. Yes, it does mean do you know. Njimji. Oh, Mom, I fucking miss you. Oh, I like that sound. Yeah, did you hear that sound? Listen to it. It's like the wish through the air. Anyway, all right. Woo! Oh my god. Not me dropping my butter that I tried so very hard to temp ahead of time so that I could actually make this shit right. Does anybody else love this Gen Z speak of not me, ... and indeed it is you. It is indeed only you, always you, forever you. You, yourself, the biggest fucker in your life. Hello, I'm so sorry you had a shitty day. Salt and warm water takes the off smell out of glass or plastic. Noted. Thank you. All right then, we shall go in with a stick of butter. Oh my god, Lori, you did not! Can you salvage any of it? I'm happy to teach you guys Mandarin too. What would you like to learn tonight? And I would be so happy to speak in Mandarin. Bye, Eliza. It's not clear if you said I love you to say I love you or if you want me to say it in Mandarin. You know, if you clean your floors, you can eat off of them. Sure, why not? Does miracles for your immune system, I bet. Do I have a favorite word in Mandarin? Not that I have thought about. I don't really play favorites like that with words. Although I do know that one of Aaron's favorite English words is petrichor. Well, that's not very fun, is it, Andy? Like, I love you in Mandarin? You can Google that shit. Give me something harder, more obscure, you know? Is there an expression like "oh geez"? So, you know, I'm not really good at slang. I've been out of China since childhood, so I'm not up to date. But I would say "oh geez" is like "ah you know. I feel like even non-Chinese speakers have heard people go "ah." What are mandarins called in Mandarin? I don't actually know the distinctions between the citrus fruits that look orange. I just call them all orange. So orange in Mandarin is 橘子. Hi, Berlin. Petrichor is the smell of like wetness when rain first hits asphalt. Please say sea turtle. I don't know how to say sea turtle. Maybe haigui, but uh, ugui I think is turtle. Um, all right, so 1 stick of butter is going in here, and we will cream it with 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar, which is approximately 70 grams. Along with that, I'm going to go in with my salt, because salt does not hinder creaming. These are clean. I just didn't unpack this yet. And I'll also go in with my baking soda and cinnamon at this time, because I just like to incorporate them sooner rather than later. If I could find this shit. Where's all my shit? Hey, yeah, you guys. So I know that technically Mercury retrograde is over, but I feel like my life has like dipped severely into retrograde status. I'm sure I'm just being dramatic, but it does kind of feel like some of my world has fallen apart very quickly in the last half month. I'm not very happy about it, but so it goes, huh? I'm going to cross out my ingredients as I do them because I fell out of order. So baking soda, cinnamon, kosher salt, butter, and sugar, they're all gone. And now, so pineapple for me is boluo. That's the phrase that I ended up learning as I grew up. But when I say pineapple cake, the Taiwanese treat, it is always fengli su. It's never boluo su. So you know, both words are pineapple. Well, I don't know anything about shadow periods or horoscopes or actually anything about Mercury retrograde. I just know Mercury retrograde is bad. And I know that my life isn't bad. I'm not complaining about my life. I'm living a great life. Just my mental health and certain circumstances that have led to this dip in mental health has made me quite wonky. In fact, it somehow exhausted me so much that I've actually managed to get 2 nights with about 7 hours of sleep in the past 10 days, which has not happened in months. And I feel like it's because my body has finally been so exhausted. It's just like, I'm out. I'm going to be out. Out of office. Don't email me. Don't let your emails ever find me ever again. And it just knocked itself out, which is great. I appreciate that my body knows when to tell me to chill the fuck out by just basically sedating me on its own. I do have a hand mixer. I have no idea why I chose to do this with a manual whisk. Maybe just because I figured some of you might like this ASMR more than a hand mixer sound. Or maybe I'm just a masochist. That's also very possible. This is edible dough if you don't mind, you know, risking food poisoning for sure, because there will be a raw egg and there will be raw flour in here. But I am planning on baking this for a friend tomorrow, and I figured I don't want to. I just wanted an excuse to go live, and I figured I might as well cook something, and the friend really likes oatmeal cookies, so I'm gonna make some oatmeal cookies, and we're gonna bake it tomorrow. I don't have enough energy in me to bake it tonight, but I did have enough energy to make the dough. Is that enough context for you for why this live is going on right now? Butter will get stuck in the whisk if you cream it with a whisk and your butter is not softened, but this butter has been out for about 5 hours, so it is softened. Melissa, at this point, I think you need to, like, treat your immune system like it's made out of glass, unfortunately. It's a little too late for those of us who are so far gone towards the death end of life to now up our immune system. It's already set. Like, game's over. we just gotta do the exit interviews. Sugar, butter, salt, cinnamon, and baking soda. Hi, Thailand. Happy New Year. How many Asians we got in the chat right now? If you identify as Asian, say holler. Or, you know, just tell me in any other word besides holler, too. Yo, Asian invasion! We love the Western Asians too. All right, is that Australia? Good day, mate. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad with flags. Can you let me know what flag that is? I'm so sorry. This is the most American aspect of me is I suck at geography and I suck at flags. Alyssa, we appreciate you as well. Thailand. Hello, Thailand. All right, that's creamed enough for me. It's starting to look like frosting. It's holding its shape. You know, it's not really drooping. It's like whipped cream stiff peaks. Cool. Hello, Palestine in the house. All right, next I'm going to go in with my egg, which I thought I took out, but I did not. Cool. Succeeding at life. Absolutely great. The trick to warming an egg when you did not warm it is just hot tap. Just letting it sit in hot tap for a bit. In the meantime, I will get out my condensed milk. Oh, I got that out though. Never mind. Vanilla, which I don't have. So we're gonna have to season this not with vanilla, but with, ooh, maybe a little almond essence. And I think I want a little nutmeg in here, actually. When I made this recipe, I don't think I was a nutmeg fan, but now I am. Doing the spice show has actually made me appreciate various spices that I did not before love. Well, it's funny that you should say take you thrift shopping because guess what our next video, short form, will be? I give the people what they want when it's also what I want. Farm school is interesting, for sure. Not what I expected in the least, but give me some time to let me analyze what the fuck is going on, and I'll get back to you with a review of my thoughts. Okay, I need some chopped chocolate, but I also hate chopping chocolate. It is so fucking messy. Who was earlier when you made the brownies? That was Dan's voice. He was over, we were eating dinner, and I made that cake, and so I had him taste it, and he seemed to really like it, even though we disagreed on whether or not it tasted like a brownie. I still think it has my ideal brownie texture. By the way, for the folks out there who are interested in Dan, I did put every one of my friends who visited me in that food diary in the description box with their IG handles, except Samara, because Samara was like, no thanks. She doesn't like social media. So if you're interested, all three of them are on the market. So shoot your shots, I guess. Can I just say, some of my very unactualized wishes of profession in life has been therapist and matchmaker. I want nothing more than to heal people and bond them together, because those are the very things that I sorely lack in my own life. So, those who can't do teach. And so therapy and matchmaking, they would be my calling if I weren't stuck in this kitchen all the time. By the way, if you are also curious, Samira is single, but she does not prioritize that aspect of her life because she's an independent ass woman, and I respect that. She has been a stronghold in my life in the past year and a half since Mom died. Samira's helped me a shit ton, just in all aspects of life, so she is a very solid human, and whoever ends up having, time and parts of their life with her is lucky indeed, just like me. So you should know that. And if any of you hang out with my friends and you end up hurting them, I will hunt you down and chop you into pieces and make you into a cookie. And depending on how badly you hurt them, I won't even ask what kind of cookie you want to be made into. I'm just going to turn you into some random ass shit. I'm not joking. I have all sorts of weird ideas up in my little scratch book, so just be careful. Anyway, I think our egg has tempered enough, so we will dump that out. Crack it in here. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Yes, I can cook spleen. I can cook all sorts of off meat. I think if you watch this channel, you should expect the unexpected always and forever. I'm not gonna make a bad cookie. Even if you were a shit human, I'm gonna make sure you are something exciting. We are not following formulas here. You're either gonna be complete trash or a mind-blowingly award-winning creation. And as with everything in life, it's gonna be a matter of luck. How is room temp egg better than one out of the fridge? It depends on what you're making. In this case, if I plopped a cold egg into my creamed butter, it will freeze some of the butter into pieces. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted my creaminess to stay creamy, and so I wanted to temp the egg so that the temperature change doesn't fuck with the temperature of the butter. Okay. Egg has gone in. Check, 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 check. All right. I think we're going to go in with some sweetened condensed milk now. This is to substitute for the applesauce that was originally in the recipe. I don't want to use too much. I just put 34 grams in there. I don't actually know how much that is, but I don't know if this is going to make the cookie very dense and wet. So this is all still just an experiment. Okay, now that we have basically whisked all the wets together, what I'm going to do is clean out the whisk because we will be folding in our dry ingredients. Otherwise, they will just get stuck in the whisk, which is not a very pleasant experience. And also this way, I get to taste some of this nicely creamed butter. You know, because you should test and taste as you go. Unless you will die of raw egg, then don't, please. You've been warned. But just remember, living is a risk every second of every day. So even if you don't take the risks, they will find you. Nice lip gloss. Right now, it just tastes like really disgusting grocery store like pastry cream that you find in oatmeal pies. Like the really shitty oatmeal pie. Eggs are not pasteurized in the US for the most part. There are pasteurized eggs, but that's why I think US eggs need to be fridged all the time because they're not automatically pasteurized. So my original recipe calls for quick oats, old-fashioned oats, and whole wheat flour. However, I don't have quick oats. So instead of the quick oats, I'm actually going to substitute in some almond flour. I really, really, really like almond flour in baked goods. And I usually just go with like 120 grams for a cup of almond flour, because depending on how heavily you pack the almond flour, it can wildly fluctuate. So I just like to measure that out. I might just go with, you know what, let's go with 90 grams. It's looking a little bit dry. I don't want it to be too dry. I'm winging it, guys. I have no idea how this cookie is gonna come out, okay? Before I put in the flour and the oats, I'm just going to fold this almond flour in, because almond flour, I want it to be evenly distributed. I don't want there to be clumps, which usually almond flour will have clumps in it. So before I introduce the element of gluten into the mix, I just want to be able to smush out some of those clumps of almond flour and make sure we are hydrating these dries and giving them a head start on absorbing all the nice fatty bits. Almond flour, I think, is a great substitute for all-purpose flour in a lot of baked goods, especially for cakes and cookies that you want tender. Almond flour has more fat in it than wheat flour, so it's basically ground nuts. Just keep that in mind when you are baking, and know that more fat means it will burn faster, it will toast faster. So you might need to cook it for less time or cook it at a lower temperature if you are substituting out all-purpose for almond flour, especially if it is not a very wet thing. If you have a cake batter that is quite moist, the moisture in that recipe might be a barrier to the almond flour toasting. But if it is a drier mixture like a cookie, you might need to decrease that temperature. Half a cup of old-fashioned oats, which Bob says is 50 grams, so we're going to trust Bob. Okay. I really do like Bob's, even though it is like twice as expensive sometimes. If I can afford it at the time, I will try to buy Bob's. They make quality products, and the reason why I like it, you know what, I need to go a little bit heavier on the oats, because let's substitute the 30 grams that we didn't use in oats, because I just realized for an oatmeal raisin cookie, this doesn't actually have a lot of oats in it, huh? Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, they are a worker-owned company. Sorry, it's that ADHD brain kicking in. What if I substituted the cake? Yeah, I replied to a comment on the latest cassava video. I think you can substitute for all-purpose or cake, but you might need to like add a little bit more. Just try to gauge what that batter looks like, the consistency that I showed you, the way it drips off. Ideally, you would have that drippage happening. And now we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of wheat flour. 1/4 cup of wheat flour is about 42 grams. And yes, I am using whole wheat here, so it will be a little more drying than all-purpose. And this is my other favorite brand, King Arthur. They are also worker-owned. Do we see a pattern here? What's worker owned? Yes, such a novel idea in this capitalistic landscape. Let's say I worked at Delish, and Delish magically became worker owned. That means that I own a part of the profits that come in. What a novel idea that I, as a worker, the unit of production, should get some of the profits in return. It means you have a stake in the company, that you participate in decision making that affects the company, that you are very much a boss along with all the other workers in the company. You are all bosses together. And yes, if it is a publicly traded company, then you own part of the stock, I guess. But I don't know the nitty gritty financials of businesses like that. I just know that it means you are valued as an employee because you are technically also the employer. It doesn't eliminate hierarchy, because I'm sure there are, people who hold more important spots in the company, but it does eliminate a great part of that power dynamic. And it makes you feel more invested as a human being. I think we can afford to add more oats in here. I will be fridging this dough, but I have a feeling I did not do a great job of using enough oats for oatmeal raisin. So I'm going to add in another 50 grams. So we've added about 1.25 cups of whole oats. What's the benefit of putting flour in the freezer? It prevents it from going rancid, and it keeps the bugs out of it. There is oil in some flours, even in all-purpose, although all-purpose has the least amount because it is so heavily processed. But for stuff like whole wheat, especially for nut flours, bean flours, they all contain a lot more fat and stuff that can go rancid faster. I like to keep it either in the fridge, which has more humidity, or the freezer, which has less, I think. I'm not sure. No, it's not going to go in another video unless something really bad happens to this batch and I'm like, all right, work in progress. Let's make it again. Next, I will be adding in raisins. Okay, I have special raisins here. These are raisins that I picked out of my Raisin Bran cereal, which are all up there. I have many boxes. You will see in my next What I Eat in a Week video that I have just filmed for you, what I eat while depressed. It's quite depressing. Very on brand. But yes, this raisin was picked out of several boxes of Raisin Bran, because even though they say 2 scoops, you will see in the next food diary how many raisins is actually 2 scoops of raisins. Then I added some of this violet liqueur that Aaron gifted me like years ago, like 2 whole job cycles ago. And I poured it in here, and I've been shaking it all day. So these are like semi-violet liqueur soaked raisins. And, well, let's try one, shall we? Okay. Smells potent. Violet is a type of flower, and so they make a liqueur out of that flower. We shall go in with, well, let's eyeball this. My original recipe says 1/2 cup. chock it full of raisins because I'm feeling chaos. I love to indulge my chaos. Dried apple slices soaked is not good. You know why? Because moisture heavy fruits like apples and cantaloupe and honeydew, when they're dried, turn into like these soft foamy textures, and then when you rehydrate them, they turn into this like limpy, lifeless, but still oddly crunchy texture, which is not at all the vibe that I was going for with my Bailey soaked figs. The figs are nice and jammy. I would recommend doing it with very sugary dried fruit, like I think dates would be amazing too. Maybe raisins even, but they have to be way more sugary than apples and melon in order for it to taste gummy and chewy and taffy-like. Okay. Here's a 1/4 cup. Here's a 1/2 cup. It's about 100 grams of raisins for a 1/2 cup. Let's see how raisiny this looks. I think for a normal human being, this would be raisining enough, but I'm not normal. Okay, 150 grams of raisins. We'll stop it there. I think a tablespoon of gochujang could be interesting. It will add sweetness for sure. And it will change the color a little bit. Oh, what percent battery are we on? 38. Okay. We're halfway through with this live. Yeah, I know it could use more oats, but honestly, I think if I put more oats, it will not spread. It will just be a brick cookie. Because I already put like almond flour in here, which I like my oatmeal raisin to spread a little more. I like to have a little bit of a bend and a chew. I don't like it hard and crunchy. And I think overnight, when we fridge it, the oats will kind of soften and absorb even more of the moisture. Besides, we will be putting in more chocolate. Aren't you glad we'll be putting in more chocolate? I just want to write down all the changes. How much oats did I put in? 110, 140, I think 140 grams. Okay. Plus. Okay. All right. Honestly, oatmeal, raisin, chocolate cookies, severely underrated, guys. Severely underrated. And I really don't understand why people hate raisins in baked goods so much. Why do you hate it? Who told you to hate it? Because there's a reputation of raisins and baked goods being grandma food? I don't get it. Because they look like little poop nuggets? I don't get it. You know what else looks like poop nuggets? Your poop. And guess who makes your poop? You do. You're full of shit. Get used to it. At least this shit tastes amazing. Okay. Now we shall go in with a lot of chopped chocolate. Like grams. Maybe I'll cut a little more. You know what I didn't do? Smell my cutting board? It's too late though. Womp womp. $65 grams of chocolate. Have I missed out on any comments? I bet you I have. It's okay though. Yeah, cats and dogs should not have raisins, ever. 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 No onions, no garlic, no tomato, I think. How about doing a series of health benefit food products? Not my thing. I don't like to eat food for their health benefits. And honestly, I'm not Chinese enough to do a whole series dedicated to that. And honestly, I don't want to be pinned as like the Chinese cook on YouTube. I don't want to specialize in Chinese stuff. I think I am Chinese. I'm also Americanized. I also am like a mutt dog in that I belong to no culture in particular, but only because culture is a prison, just like all these other shits of ideology that we live under. And while I do have Chinese traits, the identity of like Chinese both applies and doesn't apply to me. And you know, my Chineseness will come out in all of my videos because it is very much a part of who I am, but it is only a part of who I am. And thus, I don't like to segregate out a part of myself and focus only on a part. All of these videos will be chaotic because I would like to not have to splice myself into pieces to have targeted content. I would rather just be. Thank you. I love this tattoo as well. I hope it lasts a long time. Would you say you are a New Yorker though? I would say I'm pretty New York. All right, folks, we're going to let this dough rest. It is fully chocolated, fully raisined, fully oated, although some would argue not enough oated, which, you know, I might agree with, but I did what I did. We shall just have to move forward with what I did because if you keep trying to right a mistake, sometimes it will just make the mistake worse, okay? So we are going to let our choices breathe a little bit, and I'm going to slap a lid on this. We're going to fridge it. I'm going to scoop and bake it tomorrow after it's rested, especially because I feel like I definitely folded that dough way too many times, and that gluten needs to chillax. And the oats need to marry, and the raisins and their violet liqueur flavor needs to combine with the nutmeg and the cinnamon, and the dough will be happier tomorrow. I'm hoping. The dries won't be as dry, the wets won't be as wet. We will find balance in time. Isn't that the way life goes? I hope so. But I will taste a little bit of this cookie dough because I don't mind dying for the sake of tasty science. And we don't have smell-o-vision yet, so I will do my best to let you know what this dough tastes like with my English major skills. Okay? Hi, Sweden. Okay. It has that like rawness that smells borderline like metal and water having sex together. The butter, the heaviness and the fattiness and the greasiness of the butter melts into the slick cocoa features of the chocolate. The oats' sturdy toughness and chewiness is softened by the slightly marinated raisins. It's like if you took a granola mix and you mixed it in with peanut butter and yogurt and you let it sit for like 20 minutes and then you whip the shit out of it so that you aerified it. And that's what this cookie dough tastes like right now. Did I do a good enough job of describing that? Can you somewhat taste? The strangeness of this is that it gives off that cardboard flavor from freezer aisle ice creams from Stop and Shop. It has a very processed taste to it. I will chop up the rest of that chocolate and it will make its way tomorrow onto the tops of the cookies because friends deserve chocolate to the utmost. And I am reusing plastic wrap. Do not judge me. Or judge me. It's not like I give a shit at this point. Totally working it into my brand as you judge me. Okay then. We have about, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes. I'm gonna rinse out some of my dishes, chop these chocolates. I might snack a little bit. You might ask me questions. There's 260 of you. Cool. Welcome. I also wash my Ziploc bags. Indeed. Chocolate. I have chocolate on my cheeks. Maybe. Oh, I missed the comment that said they were proud of me. Scrolling. Hey, Hey June, I want to say I'm super proud of you and how you are persevering. I don't know if you've had anyone tell you that enough, so I did. Thank you, Katie. We are all persevering. I truly believe that even though I have lost my mom quite suddenly, that my life is definitely not as hard as some of y'all's have been. So, all things considered, I'm super grateful for being where I am now. And I have gotten to the place in my grief where I do feel like mom has been incorporated into me, which is a very comforting feeling. I've lately been able to use up the stuff that she left behind with um, a sense of sweet remembrance that does have a sadness to it, but is very comforting. And I do still tear up when I think of her, and it's coming from a place of just like, oh man, she's gone, but not from a place of like, oh fuck. Um, if that makes any sense to anyone else. Am I a Libra? I don't know. Did you watch my latest video? Are you paying attention to all the details? See, I give you guys all the information you've asked me 1,000 times already. It's up to you if you're paying attention. Don't get angry at me if you're not doing your homework. I haven't read my FAQ doc, but I feel like that FAQ doc is like basically my Wikipedia entry. But I mean, I'm not blaming people for not knowing every aspect of my life, even though I said it at least once on a live, because I have many lives and they are very long, and I know nobody has time to watch them, but you know, the information's out there. If you go back and watch every live you've missed, you're going to like fast forward through about 4 years of your own life. So if you have that kind of time and you are bored as fuck, or you're just looking for some insane amount of escapism in your own life, then yes, that's what my content is for. Can I use any oil to condition my wooden cutting boards? Depends on how nice your wooden cutting board is. Some oils will leak rank smells over time if you especially use too much of it. I actually never oil my wooden cutting boards because they are cheap ass pieces of shit. But if you have like a $300 to $400 booze board, I would probably recommend going with their oil because you've already spent like half your paycheck on that shit. So what's another quarter on the oil? Yeah, the burnt cutting board has been mentioned in a Delish Budget Eats episode, I think, like in the comments, and it's been mentioned on lives multiple times. I basically just put it on a burner that I meant to dry my cast iron pan on, and didn't realize that I had turned on the wrong burner, and it was smoking, and I was like, oh, I see. Hi, Texas. My progressed Venus is a conjunct of heart center of galaxy. That sounds way too heavy for me. I don't want that shit on my head. Take it away from me. So exciting! We made it to snack time! Y'all deserve it. By which I mean I deserve it. What shall we snack on, y'all? Samira visited me yesterday and played relationship therapist with me for 3 hours. And she brought me some Filipino peanut snacks that are very much like the ones that she got from the Netherlands for me. And also these fantastic sweet corn puffs that I love. Your chart is heavy in Aquarius and Leo, so you're a mess. Would you like to explain that? For those of us who have no idea what you're talking about, my dear. But I honestly, I gotta say, I'm not feeling like pure nuts because I just ate a whole pound of pistachios. There's meant to be like 11 or 12 servings in here, and I've left myself half a serving. I went to watch a movie with Samira, and I just kept snacking on this for 2 hours, and the next thing I know, I finished them. So, no more nuts for me. No, no. Okay, you know what I am feeling though. I'm gonna eat some blueberries and fishball curry. That sounds disgusting together, and I assure you, it is. Oh, yes, this. I brought some century eggs to farm school. They did not finish it, so we're gonna finish this tonight too. Gross. Gross. Do you get anxiety for eating too much calories? Sometimes. I'm trying to be better at it. After having half your life accompanied by various eating disorders, you know, I think it's time to let go a little bit. If you know you're giving yourself anxiety, that's just further masochism. And if you don't feel like punishing yourself, then don't. Like, it sounds stupid and condescending, but I don't know if anybody used to watch Mad TV. I hated that show. I never vibed with the humor that was on that show, but there is one skit that I highly recommend you watch if you struggle with self-inflicted guilt and shame. And the skit, you can just Google Mad TV, Stop It. It is my all-time favorite Mad TV skit. I don't have any other favorites, it's just that one. But stop it. It's really insensitive for our very coddled culture that pronounces therapy to be the end-all be-all solution to all sorts of mental illnesses and like low self-esteem and, you know, self-diagnosing culture of like bipolar or ADHD or neurodivergent. I'm not saying we can't have these labels. I'm just saying these labels are doing the same thing for us as like gender labels and sexual orientation labels. And I say that as someone who isn't allosexual and who doesn't really align with complete like monogamous heterosexual relationships. It's just these labels are useful to help us start to identify what our traits are, but they can also become a prison at the end of the road when we start to align our being and our entire personhood with these traits. So I would just say use them until they don't serve you anymore, and then go beyond them. Yeah, the H Mart is big, guys. It's so big. Libras seek balance. We shall never find it, though. I haven't walked much this month. I can't say how much on average I walk. It depends on the day. I've walked up to 12 miles. It's not very frequent. But when I do take a walk, I walk probably 3 miles. I usually go to Brooklyn, Greenpoint, and back. But sometimes I only go one way and subway back. It's not a standard. These blueberries are extremely mealy, but they taste really nice. Tart and floral. I don't know why they're mealy. It's very strange. They taste like when peaches get soft but aren't ripened. Do you know what I'm talking about? Cool. My philosophy of life is sucks, then we die. Have you read my Instagram profile bio? I love my Instagram profile bio. I maxed out the character limit writing that, and I was like, shit, this is perfect. This is like my magnum opus. What did I study in college? English, education, religion. Is shouldering worrying about all the problems of the world considered self-masochism? Yeah, I think so, yes. Because what you gonna do about it besides make yourself feel bad? Nothing. You're gonna do nothing about it. Because you're wasting all of your energy feeling bad about shit. And guess what? In that time that you're feeling bad about the rest of the world, you're also not taking care of your fucking self. So. I am going to put some chili oil on here. Homemade, baby. Smells good. Just do stuff. I agree. Just do stuff. We love century eggs. And this one is a particularly gooey brand that I bought from H Mart. And yes, these are the same eggs that I bought from H Mart. Grandma loves century eggs. I wouldn't say keeping busy is the key to a happy life. I would say keeping busy is maybe a first step to detaching yourself from rumination. But again, it's about the balance, right? If you just go for a busy life to make yourself not have time to think through why the world is making you anxious, that can become a crutch, you know? I don't cook century eggs. They never undergo heating. Century, oh shit. Why is there chili oil all over my palm? Century eggs is just one of those things where I buy, I peel, I cut up, I season, and I eat. Like, there's no cooking. There's no heat application here. It's kind of like buying a rotisserie chicken. You know, you can dress up the rotisserie chicken, but that shit is cooked. Like, if you cook it anymore, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. I tell people that the center of the century eggs are gooey and they almost taste and have the texture of brie, like room temperature brie. It's like very creamy and melty. And the outside translucent whites of the egg are basically like a hardened jello, chewy jello. I don't know if you like century eggs. If you like century eggs, then it probably tastes good in instant ramen. It all depends on whether or not you like it. Would you put brie in instant ramen? I bet that would make TikTok blow up. Guys, one of you go put brie in instant ramen and tell me if you blow up on TikTok, please. Crazy assholes. For people who are on TikTok these days, how is it? Has it changed? Is it better or worse? That chili oil is spicy. Century, I have 12% battery, by the way. Wow, Nowco. I can relieve you of your moderation duties if you don't want that hanging over your head. Again, none of the mods are getting paid for their job, so they don't need to show up to work. But what was I saying? Sorry. ADHD, post-COVID. Yes, we were talking about century eggs. Century eggs are cured in ash, like this ash mixture, which my mom always said is quite unhealthy to eat. This is a green Thai curry fish ball. Sorry, almost have to. Fish ball thingy. Please stay. Hi. So yeah, mom always said they're not very healthy to eat, but I still like to eat them. Yes, cold fish ball, cold congealed fish ball, and cold congealed curry is not very tasty, but I am also too lazy to heat it. And also, we're about to black out from my battery power draining. So if you have any questions for me, Let me know, because I'm probably going to disappear from lives for another week, at least. And this curry is so congealed because I used some of Mom's agar agar. So it's basically frozen into like a block of jelly. I wish you guys the best week ahead. Tomorrow is Wednesday. It's hump day. You take care of yourself, okay? Fishbowl ass pick, yes. Am I making enough from YouTube to be okay? If I could make one of those hour and 50-minute long videos every week, I would be pretty padded. But those take a month to make, and I also can't make them every month. So in terms of ad revenue, it's very up and down for YouTube. The longer the video is, obviously, the more ads they can place on it, the more money I make. But those longer videos also take longer time to make. So it's like, I don't even fucking know at this point. Again, I'm not really making the videos at this point to make money. I don't know how much money is going to roll in terms of ad revenue for each of those. So I'm just making the videos as I want to make them, and I'm going to put them out, and I'm going to see how people respond to it. And organically, I'll just start to develop a gut feeling of what kind of content I would want to make that people would also want to watch. And every once in a while, I'll throw in a wild card in there, and we'll just play it by ear. I'm not starving, if that's what you're asking. Thank you. I promise I will let you guys know if I'm starving. Because I know some of you will just like send me money. But I haven't gotten to that stage of Jesus yet. Jesus was like a beggar his entire life, wasn't he? So if Jesus can do it, I can too. Hopefully we can skip the crucifixion part, but you never know. Life. But I just saw this Instagram meme today that was like, I will die on this hill. And the hill pictured in the meme was believing that art should be the exact opposite of capitalism. I don't really know if I consider these videos art, but they sure as hell, I fucking hope, aren't like meant to be capitalistic in nature. Yes, they do roll in ad revenue, but I'm not making them for the purpose of accumulating capital, if that makes sense. And I think in this case, intention does matter, but we'll see. I think because of avian flu and how they had to cull so many chickens, so eggs prices skyrocketed. You know, the way that we manipulate our world and surroundings and environment will come back to bite us, and it is biting us hard. I'm gonna tap out. I'm on 5% battery. I think, oh my god, it's 9 p.m. Okay, bye. See you next time.